as M and M and E all create a vision of three, in which Venus and Jupiter come together to be, exactly as I said, a bumblebee or any kind of bee, because beehive is 2 and 8 in the alphabet for the first initial. It stands for Venus and it stands for Neptune because we're upside down. Our moon is this way on our head. The castor in French, or a castaway, because anything you cast when you go fishing, you're trying to pull in a fish. It comes with a jack because it has a hook at the other end. It goes this way and then it comes right back at you because you need to hook something. Talking about poker, let me tell you one thing. Don't count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Is it when the dealing's done you can count your money? But don't count it while you're there? Or do you count your money, but by counting your money, you can show the other person that, it's gonna make him think. But if you count your money while you're playing the game, it's gonna take away from your vibes. Your vibes are always gonna say, oh, this is what I have, this is what I have, and it's gonna change your injuncture. You should never change the injuncture based on how much money you have. So you can't do that. Another thing is the castor is a beaver. It means above and below the water. I don't know how the brain exactly works, the two hemispheres, but when you're talking about I'm going to try and draw this. Let me see. I'm going to draw this. You want to have a full house? Well, here's how you have a full house. Here's number 23, the 23rd letter, okay? Or you can use it as alpha beta. Why alpha beta? Because you've got 1 going up and 2 going down. It's a split between 2 sides. It seems like Venus splits her legs all the time. You have the I over here. You have the I over here. There's your 2 cards, I and I. But this is not an I. This is a cap. This is the cap you wear because it's in the center of these 2, where they come down. I don't know if it goes into the sand pits of Mars, and you spin around the 7 gates. How? By making another design inside of here, which would look like the number 7. These look like L and L, as it looks like L and V is Las Vegas. So this is what I'm going to do to show you. You see what happens when I continue the line from the W, and I continue it down here, and I continue down here. Here is because when you walk and the children are around, you want to make sure they don't hit their heads on the edge of the table and crack their head open, so you put 2 little round spots. So this is your pair. Usually on a table there's either 3 corners or there's 4 corners, but there's never going to be 1 corner. Have you ever seen a table with 1 corner? It's pretty funny, so we have to start thinking of 1 corner. So we now come down, and by extending the lines further than the W, you are now into the next world, and now looks like an X here and an X here. And now all you got is 2 X's instead of having just a W. Down here, okay, which would be 1 area, and 1 area. 2 down here and 1 here. There's your set, okay, because they're corners. There's your set. Here's your pair on each side. And at the end, when you finish, you continue on, and you end up with 1X here, 1X here, and 1X here. XXX is 72. With that thought, it says 72 degrees. 72 degrees of what? This is the heart, the center heart. 72 degrees of 5 makes 360 degrees around. Have you ever seen this? A pylon, or a ring, or a hook, or a python? Okay? Well, let me show you something else. You want to know where the keyhole is? It's in the club. This is the club. There's your keyhole. If you look at the club really close, you'll notice there's a round circle over here that the 3 parts of the club will set up. And if you notice, when you do the club, okay, when you do the club, wow, my pen's not working. I buy hundreds of pens and I never get one that works. When you do the club, this is what you end up with. This is your spade and your club. Now you need the hearts. Now the question is, how will we draw this heart? If I draw this heart from the bottom, okay, would you be heart full or heart less? If I draw it from the bottom, do you see this mark over here? I'm going to try and make another round, and I'm not going to draw it from the bottom. I'm going to draw it from the top. So by drawing it from the top, this is what happens. You end up with your 88. You see the 8 on this side and the 8 on this side. Your hemisphere on one side, the hemisphere on the other side, the magnets. You got your key. You have your keyway. Okay, and here's your heart, and here's your diamond in the center. Here's your top, your bottom, and your 4 ways. Here's your keyhole through the spade. I want to tell you a little bit about my dream last night. My dream last night, I was in Africa. I don't know much outside of Africa, but it seemed like I was on a boat that was in the ocean next to a giant rock. And at the top of the rock was a French guy. His initials were J and M. 10 and 13, JM, Jean-Marc, number 23, for creation. Come up, he says, come up. And the only way to get up to the top of the rock, and I'm always nervous lately in all my dreams, I had to climb up and pull on this cord to get to the top of the rock. And in Africa, you know where this rock was? What was in the rock? There was a machine in the rock, a motor. We had to start the motor to get the brain to go for the earth again. Anyways, I was scared. I asked him if there's any sharks down below. And he says, don't worry about the sharks. The sharks are the 3 teeth. Where do the 3 teeth come from? Again, the 3 teeth come from the top part, the bottom part of the 2 sides of the W. They're all triangular. And when you turn a triangle, right, you're always going to have 1 point up and 2 points this way. That means it locks it in. When it goes this way, the W, it locks it in, and then you have the point up, which will lock you in. So we were on the top of this rock trying to start this motor. Then all of a sudden, we ended up in the jungle. And the first thing that I thought when I was in the jungle, oh my God, where's my medication? I'm not home. What happens if I freak out? Well, what's the difference if I freak out? We were in Africa. Anyways, let's not look at that. Now we're going to jump onto here. I'm so far behind. I've learned so many things. First of all, there's a minimum of 3 space stations up there. Sputnik. Don't everybody forget about Sputnik. Do you know why? Because Bugs Bunny mentions his name. Where is that guy Sputnik? And Daffy Duck was mentioning his name in the Bugs Bunny show, that they erased everything and they drew a new character. They drew Donald Duck with a flower around his hair. You know why? When you breathe in, this is the bridge. You breathe in, you breathe out through the ducts of your nose. Quack, quack, ducks, blow your nose. The bridge of your nose, London Bridge is falling down. You ever see the geeks in school? They always tape up their glasses with duct tape. The black tape that you use on a hockey stick. Now we got ducks on a hockey stick. It's the end of the duct, the end of the paddle of the hockey stick that moves around the rondelle, which is an onion ring. Rondelle, D-E-L, LED light, the size of the hockey puck. If you put a round on the end of the 2 sides of a hockey puck, you end up with a pool ball. I have another question. You see, I'm just throwing out a whole lot of stuff now because I just need it out of my head. Because I can just stay like this and say, okay, I know a lot of things. But if I don't share, I'm not talking to myself. I'm not talking out loud. So what I want to say now is, does the pool ball have the number on both sides of the ball? If it does, that means 1 to 7 adds up to 28. 28 days of the moon, 28 days for man, 7 times 4 is 28. And the only way to get that, or many ways to get it, but the only way to get it in the dice is 5 and 9 is 14, which is E and I. E and I equal 14, 5 and 9, and the French say I and E, or E and I. The French and English say the opposite, just like the French say J for G and G for J. G for J and J for G is 17. That's the 7th gate of the one spirit light. How does that happen, the 7th gate of the one spirit light? It ends up right here in your head. Because 1 and 6 go together to create the 7. There is no 7. The 7 is a joint venture. So I was on the pool balls. So if you add up 1 to 7, and there's a number on each side of the ball, 7 times 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 equals 28. 2 sides of the ball is 56. Now if you add up 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the 15 ball, another 7 balls, 9 and 10 is 19. Right away, the 10 ball is the blue ball. It's the electric. It connects to the 2 and the 10. The 10 is actually Neptune, okay, plus Venus, okay, inside the gateway, turning around, measuring 6 and 8. 7 measures 6 and 8, but no, it's 7 and 8 because there's moon. On 7 there's 1, but on 8 there's 2. 3 and 3 on each side for the light. Because when the 1 goes in and the 3 open up, you get light here. The other one is in your hips, but we're not going to talk about that because that's an Elvis Presley thing. Let's go back to the pole. 9 and 10 is 19 right away before anything starts. 11, 12, 13 is 36. 14 and 15 is 29. 36, 46, 56. 65 plus 19 is 75 is 84. I think 84 stands for Pluto. That means if we are the striped ball and Pluto's the 9th planet, that's how our birth comes in. It's the 9th planet. And like I said, E and I are 5 and 9. So if it's 5 and 9, E and I, 5 and 9 is 14, creates the N. Equals to EIN is ein. The only way to get that EIN is number 28, which is counting 1 to 7 or 28 grams in an ounce. So when you count to the total of 84, 8448 is the Super Bowl. It stands for space and the backdoor entry into our minds. I'm not going to explain the whole thing right now. So if you have all those balls and you have a total of 84, 84 and 84 is 168. 6 and 8 again, 6 and 8 to light up 6 is to light up 8 because you light up your whole head. The silence of 2, Venus is silent. You use her as a division to connect the two sides. So now that you have, what was the number again? 168 plus the low 56 is 174 and 50 is 224. 224. It's almost like saying Grover Cleveland, the 22nd president, and Grover Cleveland, the 24th president. But let's just jump off of that. Do you want to see how you say 4? 4 in French is cat. It's spelt like this, but this is the number. 5 is cinq. Who sank the cat? Cinq in French is said with a Q. There's a U with this Q, but there's no U with this Q. Do you know why? Because this 5 needs 4 and 6 to create that U. Because you need it, because 4, 5, and 6 is the light. 4 is a D. 6 is the F. It connects the light. The D angle, which is the prism that is ignited inside the 4, which are the 4 corners of Mars. And there are 2 sand pits in Mars, just like there are 2 moons, just like the Monopoly board, okay, may have 40 on it, but the trains are counted in one area and the corners in another as 20/20. The same thing as you do when you play backgammon, and they have 20 positions in backgammon, 5, 5, 5, and 5. This equals 60. Plus the 4, it's 64, Zion, Israel, and 0. This word is 17, 38, 39, 49, 59, 69, 77, 82. This talks about the cycle of the moon. 82, 41, and 41 is 2 times around Monopoly. This is the cat. This is number 24. 24, the cat in French is 80, which also means 420s, which also means 80, which also means weed. Somehow we know the weed connects because of this. It says it. The 5, sank, okay, because something sank, and this is the way I spell it, 19, 20, 34, 44, 45. This also stands for the fox. The fox is 9 times 5 is 45. Why the fox? Because the fox is the same number, and it becomes 45, 54. Sank is another way of writing it. 3 and 9 is 12, and 14 is 26, 36, 43. This stands for the prism of Earth and the sandbox of Mars. Number 43. Why? 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 equals 19. And that's where it all takes place, in the 5. And here's number 5, which is number 24. 5 equals 42. This equals 24. The cat and the 5, it all goes together. Multiply 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 equals 256. Multiply 5 by 5 by 5 by 5 equals 625. The same numbers. The only numbers missing in between the two numbers is 3 and 4. 3 and 4 create 19. 1 times 9, 1 plus 9, or 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 is the way it's created. Now in the 3 and 4 that is missing between 2, 5, and 6, or 6, 2, and 5, is the 3. The creation of you. Why? Because your creation in 3 is not just 1, 3. It's 3, 3, and 3, and it makes your 9. Here's your 9. 3, 3, and 3. In order to make 8 and 9, which is the highest numbers, it's 4 times 2, and it's 3 times 3. The only ways to make it. Again, 4 and 4 is the in-between space. Why? Because in between 1/4 of an angle, okay, is 45 degrees. Here's your 45 degrees. 8 times around is 360. 19 times 19, which is the number that we used, equals 361, because it's all the way around plus the reconnect. 4 times 5, 4 plus 5, equals 20 plus 9, equals 29, the letters I and T. When you use 7 times 4, it becomes 28, and now we're talking about ISIN. And there's more than one way to connect ISIN on the roulette table. Now let me jump off to tell you one more thing. I went to see the casino today. I went downtown with somebody. They wanted to go for a job, and we were right next to the casino, so I walked in. They now came out with a new machine. Guess what? It was a slot machine, 432 vibration. They came out, I was just walking in there and oh my God. They came out, they had a special dance. People were dancing merengue and stuff from the 1950s. 1950, 1954, again 1954. Also mentioned in there was 1974. 1974 is 9, which is the value of 42, times 47 in time equals 1974. If you take 21, which is the dice cube, times 47 equals 987, plus 789 is 1776. 28, okay? How many times does 28? I'm going to have to do 1776 divided by 28 equals 6 times 8 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48, and 4, 120, 168, and 96, 1, 2, 3 is 48. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. It becomes 63 is 48 is 28 is 200. No. Did you see the tail? Well, that's what I'm having trouble with right now. There's a bunch of things now that I messed up this page. I just saw so many things in the casino. The heart thing that I showed you here, they just redid our casino. They did this heart thing. But what they did to it is, if you notice, there's a 3 here, so they curled it in. And then they curled the bottom in. The same designs is coming out in the casino. Not only that, you know the Toy Soldiers, the program from the Toy Soldiers of many years ago? They came up with new bars, and they called the bars Jack. They had the Toy Soldiers there. Everything to end the world, that began the world, is all coming back. And the same time, I'm going to try and show you that D is used for a queen. It says Dame plus Queen, these two cards, which is the Queen, equals to 21. The 17th and the 4th equals to 21. Then we had the Jack, which is a V and a J. The V is the 22nd letter. The J is the 10th letter. Okay? 10 and 20 equals 22. Well, now my pen's running out. Valet, okay, and Jack. The Jack is the 11th card in the deck. The Jack is the 10th card, is the 10th letter in the alphabet, making 21. The V is the 11th card in the deck. The V is the 22nd in the alphabet, equaling to 33. Plus 21 equals to the sun, what we just did. Not only that, when we take a V, when we make a V for Jack in French, and we put a D for Queen in French, if you take a look at it, it looks like an R. And in French, king is with an R. But we have to design it, 2 of them, because it took 2 of them to create it. Now we use 2 of them on each side, double D. This will be turning around. This is in the center, the spindle. This is in the sand trap, spinning on 2 sides of the prism, between the 2 sides of your brain. Okay? I'm going to try, there's just so many things. Your hips, they just came up with a new Elvis Presley from Asia. From Asia, they get an Elvis Presley. The 3rd dice and the 6th dice, 3 and 6 of creation, is where you get Oriental and Baltic. And I told you that underneath New Zealand and somewhere around there is some kind of computer system, or somewhere in space is directly connected to New Zealand. Why do I connect New Zealand? Because the N and the Z are the same letter. So they go together for both. And one is 14, which is the cross on man's back, and the Z is the dog pound. You add them together, it's 40. The Queen, 17, and the 23rd letter of creation, 40. 1 and 19 is 20. The only way to get S is to get it with 1. Z and X is 50, the dog and the cat, within this. Don't forget, every time you create a letter, especially the V's and the Y's, they always change depending on the level you're on. I'm going to show you a level. Here's the level, right? So if I create the number 7 on this angle, and I turn it into a 4, you notice the 4 comes up and the jack comes up. I'm going to show it to you again. Hold on, I'm going to try to do it again. Here's the 4. But because it's on a second level, you don't see. There should be another level here. It's on an angle that this leg gets blocked out. You see, it should come down here and make an ace. So as you switch levels, it'll become an ace, then it'll become an H, and it becomes an H, it becomes the I. So if the cap here is the head, the hips are the other part of the H and I, because we definitely have brains connected in our sex organs. Imagine this. You're with your girlfriend, and she starts, and you're in bed, and you're fooling around with her, and it's getting hot and heavy, and all of a sudden she asks you a question. Oh, your dick has to go like this after, so this one can lift up. You can't think with 2 dicks at the same time. Man's got more than one brain, so does a woman. But a woman, okay, she has more control of her brains because it's part of her menstrual cycle. So it connects up here into her 2 eggs down there. That's why when they go through menopause, they get all screwed up. They got to eat properly and think properly to reconstruct the 2 eggs that they lost, so they can replenish that whatever is done inside the woman. They're very, very special, these women. What else did I see? So that Elvis Presley is coming back. Elvis Presley's coming back, and I'm just trying to see if there's anything else in here, because I have all the numbers in order now. I should have grabbed a bunch of these. So now I can do all the numbers here, because they're very special. Let me go over it right now, very special and very quick. Bringing everything to a single digit, 5, 6, this will become the 7, because it's a 10. 5, 6, 7. 4. 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. This is 2 and 1 is 3. Now you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then this one is 2. Then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it stops at 2 because that's Venus, okay? And then you go to 8, which is the 1, 7 in a row, makes your 8 noggin. You get Uranus that connects the Mercury of who you are in your mind, and you now connect your blood, your heart, your veins over to your two prisms in your head. Why do we connect that? Why do we use it that way? Because we have to use through Venus. You see 2 and 5? This says Bell. B-E-L-L. Why? B and E are 2 and 5, and B and E are the second planet, Venus, and the 5th planet, which is Jupiter, connecting into the 7th planet, which is Uranus, which reconnects to Venus, which is inside of you, and the gateway of number 8, 1 and 7. Again, number 7 equals to Uranus. We add them up when we do everything. This is the JG part over here, 2 times 5, 2 plus 5. But I'm only going to add it up to a single letter. Then you have 7 again, 7, 8, 7, which now you've connected up the gateway to 2 parts of 3 and 3. Why? The opposite way of 3 and 3 is the prism, okay, which is 6, and the opposite side of the 6 is the 8 on the dice. Then all of a sudden you do get the 6. So the 6 is the whole of the totality of who you are, because in the 6 and the 7 and the 8, which equals to 21, and the Queen has 8 eyes, all her eyes on the cards the Queen has, but she has 2 sides of the card, so she doesn't only have 8 eyes, the Queen has 16 eyes. The King has 7 eyes because the King of Diamonds has 1, 2 sides, bring him to 14. 16 and 14 is 30 creation. Jack only has 6 eyes because the Jack of Spades and the Jack of Hearts only have 1 each, so they come together to create a whole. So you have 6, 21, it becomes 42. The number for 5 and 9 is equal to 42 each, which equals to 84, which connects you back to Pluto again. 8 times 4, 8 plus 4. It's about space and these space stations. That's the number of this year's Super Bowl. Supper Bowl, Super Bowl. The gray matter in the gray cup underneath the Super Bowl of your head, covering the totality of the 2. In conjunction, time is stopped. But time always runs with the 2 sides of your head because you've got to keep the soul running. Your heart needs to beat. Is it your heart that says I need to beat, or is it your brain up here that says I need to beat? So now we're down to 6. Now automatically 6 becomes 9. Y and sometimes Y, between 25 and 27, they're both red. This is the 27th letter, which can recreate you to 9, or the letter Y, in which can replace the A letter, because the A only counts once in the piano because it's your formation. In the piano, it's A and G, which are right next to each other, and then B and G, the A, G, B, Gs, which becomes 8 and 9, which equals to 17, which equals to the I and the H, because the minute you create an H, you have an I. Oh, my phone is ringing. I'm going to answer the phone and then I'm going to get off. Hello, I can't really speak long. Can I call you back? Oh, okay, it's Steve. Okay, yeah. Oh, so you're at work? Well, when I'm finished doing my other stuff, yeah, I'm going to probably do it at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'll speak to you tomorrow. Ciao. Thanks for calling back. Bye. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the H, but I'm going to show you the H over here. Now, I was thinking, if this was my hips, I'd turn it this way. My sex organ would go here, and my two hips would go over here. Okay? But we only have one area. We need at least two areas. And I look at this either as the ladder, or it could be the hips, or it could be the two sides of my brain. One is creation here, C. The other is creation here, C. Okay? In here fits the O and the O. Why? Because we have the four closed corners. Mars sandbox within each other. Usually it would be this flower over this flower. You turn it, you would have 8 sides. O and O equals to 15, and 15 equals 30. 15 outs. 5 innings times 3 outs is 15 outs. 5 innings times 3 outs is 15 outs. They're in the dugout. All the players are in the dugout. And it's the 5th inning, and it's a rain. And it's raining, cats and dogs, so the cats and the dogs must stay in the dugout, and the game is rained out, but that's okay because we covered the eggs. Otherwise, it goes the whole game, okay, and I is 27. And when you reach the 9th inning, the team that's on the road will have 27 outs. But if the home team is winning, H, H, and H for home team, 8, 8, and 8 is 24. And if the game ends in the top of the 9th, it would be 24 outs versus 27 outs, which is 15 and 15 eggs. 51 plus 30 is 81, stands for Venus. Diamonds are forever for Venus. You're in the ballpark, and it all stands for that one cone. You ever see what Venus looks like? Your dog tooth, because that's what the ballpark looks like. That's what a ballpark looks like, an ice cream cone. So now you have your total of your 7 innings. You have the rain out. You have the HH. You have the I. Another thing is when you're in all worlds, you have to put this up, and you have to have this down. You have this, and this. This would be your C. This would be your U. This would be your N. This would be your C. But take a look in the center. Okay, when you connect all of these, it becomes the T. C-U-N-T. Cunt. I don't know why it's like that, but that's what it says. Please don't take it against you. But when you put this one up in the center, you see the way it goes over the center one here? It goes right through. Because this is now your body and your football. Now you have the uprights to get your 3 points in football. Have you seen it in football? When they go this way and they put their hands up, it's a touchdown. So 11 says 6. Then when they do it this way, towards the opposite side, it's a field goal. 11 makes 3. 11 and 6 is 17. 11 and 3 is 14. 11 and 3 is 14. And the 3 and 11 in pool are red. They make up your spirit red. 3 and 2, 3 and 11 is 3, and 1 and 1 is 2. Number 23? Number 23 is a lot more than you think. I got a pair in a set. Well, if you got a pair in a set, you know what I mean? 3 of a kind, 2 of a kind. In French, they say the word 10 as 10, but it looks like a dix. This is the 4th letter. This says 9, but this is 4, 9 inside this letter because it's an I, but these two together say 9. It says X and I. I is 9, but the two of them together say 9. It's the X and the 1 in Roman numerals. This is 10. This is 9. This is 19. You're back on the moon again. 19 and 4 makes 23. Which makes 10 when you're whole. How do you get back on the moon when you're whole? Because 2 and 8, which is Neptune and Venus, connect you to go back on the moon. And this is what it would be. It's a double Venus. Because of the W, the two sides of your mind. The sand pit, when it starts going around in a circle. When you have a nut flush in poker, the Mayans talk about the ton, T-U-N, as a period of time. When you check in poker, when you raise, when you call, when you fold. When you fold, it's old gold. Why is it old gold? Or maybe it's fool's gold because it has the F in the front. Why? Because you had the 2 cards, you had a chance to play, but you threw them away, so now it's old. It's old gold. Fool's gold. Oh, right. The other word that I wanted to use is floor, 2 O's, and roof. Take a look at the words carefully. The difference of the word is 12. 18, 48, 54 says sun. This says 66, which means 2 worlds, 2 hemispheres. Don't forget the 6 is 3 and 3. Turn it sideways. And it's 3 and 3, but a different way for working for a different light. You can turn that 1 way, 2 ways. You can turn it 3 ways, the dice. If I can find the dice, because my cats ran away. My cats ran away with the dice. Here's the 1 way. Here's the 2 way, and here's the 3rd way. It's a 3 way. So you got 6, 6, and 6. So you have roof, R-O-O-F, R-O-O-F. The only difference is the L for the light, the spirit light. This roof and this floor, if you add up the roof and the floor, 18, 48, 54, and 54 is 108, plus 12 is 120. Add up 1 to 15, it equals 120, which are the 15 balls in pool, which goes into a triangle, because in the pool game it goes into a triangle. So how can you make a 3-sided triangle? 3 sides equal to 4. 3 sides equal to 4, 15, you got 60. Because when you have the 3 sides, you need the floor and the roof. You automatically have 4 points, but 1 point is going away from the other points. That's why you have 3 and 1, 6 out of 8. Do you understand? 1, 2, 3 points, and 1 point on top and the floor on the bottom, while you have 3 walls on the side. I'm going to try and look for what else. I mean, I'm sitting, and these guys, I'm sitting. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention was, hold on, I'm going to design this, was this over here, the G and the G. Now you can make it a back door, you can make it on the side, but this is what happens. When you take your S, when you make your S over the G, it comes right into this line is passing right over this, and this go together. So when you make that, your S spirit connects to your G. Stargate. S and G is 19 and 7 is 26. You connect the dog again. Every time you connect 26, you're connecting 8, the dog. It's the letter Z. Z is the dog, and it's right next to the X. It creates 50, which is the 50 passage, in which I didn't even mention that CFL and NFL, I've got a lot of things done on this, but like I said, and I hate to say this, but I have to show you I'm real, and I need a secretary. She will be the most important thing in my life, that everything I write down, she can write down, because I can't miss anything, because everything connects. We know that. We know everything connects. Now we got 25 minutes. We did Bell, B and E, 2 and 5. Venus and Jupiter. It's like they're telephone calls between Venus and Jupiter. So if Venus is in us, then we're being called by Jupiter, the bigger planet. So the bigger planet has to own spirit, and the soul is owned by Saturn. Saturn owns soul, planet 6. Jupiter owns spirit, planet 5. 5 and 6 equals 11. 5 times 6 equals the 30 of creation, and 30 on dice and Monopoly. You go all the way around and go to jail. GTJ. 7, 20 is 27, and J is 10 is 37, which also stands for the part of Nibiru. That's why Nibiru is coming. Now we have the sewers. Who answers the call? Sewer and answer look the same, don't they? The tar rat, tar reversed, is in the stars. Bell is under the ground, communication, and now radio. The 2 eggs, where are they? One is here, one is here. Why did I do this? Because this V created this V, and the standing V will have a bigger angle of a 90 degree, or 135 degrees, or 90 degrees. Well, actually I go 45, 45, 45 in order to create it. So this way would be your life. 4 and 6, 6 and 4, 44 and 66, 110 stories of the Twin Towers. V, and V is not a minus, it creates the X. 22 and 22 is 44 again. But as an X, it becomes 24. 24 and the 44 makes 68. And that says planet. Planet of the apes. Planet of the apes. Over here, when you go to Roman numerals in the Ten Commandments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 times 1 equals 13. This will create your prism and your sandbox, because 1 plus 3 and 1 times 3 equals 3 and 4. 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 equals 19, the 10 and the 9 card. 5 by 2 and 3 by 3. Or the 8 card, 4 by 2 and 3 by 3. The other one is the V. You have 1 V here, 2 V's here, 3, 4, 5. Why did I mark 4? 1 V, 2 V, 3, 4, 5 V's equals to 25. That 25, okay, is the Y. It creates the Y letter that splits up this side and this side hemisphere, and then the other part of your hemisphere down below where your hips are. Why? Because where your hips is a heart, and the V goes up like this. But in your mind, there's a prism where the V goes, I think it's down like this, where your nose is. I'm not sure if there has to be 3 of them. 3 of them with 3 points is 9. Plus they have the upper point, okay, which is not along the round about, which is 3 by 3 is 9, 10, 11, 12. At the same time, you have 1/10 of the 10 Commandments, which is here. Excuse me, I made one mistake. There's something missing. I did not get number 9. So this would be 10, 20, and I missed this one over here. So this one automatically is 14. So when I said 14 comes on the cross, it makes 14. 14 and 25 equals 39. 39, 14, and 25 is the center and the left side of the roulette table. It also equals X and O. It equals 39. Okay. These two, 49, 59. So we get a total of 59 over here, which is E and I, which is the Einstein theory, bringing 5 and 9, 6, 7, 8 in between is the reflection of 4, 3, and 2. The jail, which is the echo between the two. We're going to add them up together. 21. Excuse me, when I add them up together, it equals to 55 in all actuality. So if I must have made a mistake somewhere, because I know 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way to 10 equals 55. So I made a mistake. I said 59. Now 55, if it was 55, and I did make that mistake, it's CFL football, 7 times 6 and 7 plus 6 equals your 55, and the clock runs, because that's the 55. It is the passage of 5 and 5. 5, okay, on where is it? Wow, I don't even know where to show 5 and 5. I'm assuming it's here, between the 11s, and then here, on your baseball. Now, I think I made some kind of slight error somewhere. I'm not really sure. There's just so many things. Even in words, as first and last, they both end in ST. Here, this becomes 3 and 1. This becomes 6 and 9 is 15, and 18 is 34. 34, okay, will create the number 19. 1 and 3, 1 plus 3, 1 times 3 is 3 and 4, which recreates the 34 here. So they reconnect. One is at the end, starting with 3 and 1, and one is first, starting with the 6 dice of I and R. I and R is created by 6 and 3. 3 and 6, 3 times 6 is 18. 3 plus 6 is 9, is 27. Plus 6 is 33. 6 and 9 is 33. So I made a mistake here. 3 by 3 is 9, connecting the 9 to 1 and 3. So this 9 first is connecting your mind before it connects anything else. The AC spirit. Why is it AC? Because the B is down here. A comes to C and down to B. Now I don't like that I made all these mistakes, like the 10 Commandments and stuff. The one other thing I wanted to show you, that no matter what you do in roulette, 22 and 24 is Grover Cleveland. It crosses, you make a box around 23, because this would be your Rubik's Cube. You do the same thing at number 14, but at number 14, 17, 15, 13, and 11 come around to create your square, which is your heart. And then the two sides of your mind are connected over here between 7 and 9, creating the two-sided jack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, if you look, keeps creating that hexagon. You see this design here? And there's another one here. I don't know what you call them. I call them clams. I'm really not sure what to say, but it gives you the space activity, connecting the 1, spirit, and the 3, earth, the earth spirits. Because the earth spirit is having the one spirit of life built inside you, built so that the one spirit can live inside of you. Then I would have to say the soul is also in the center. The 3 maybe is the soul part of the spirit. And you know, soul, I think, is number 67. Soul, 67, stands for water. Earth is 52. Put them together, it's 119. This is your roulette wheel, and it makes a diamond here and a diamond here. When Christenberg says, I drew the diamond 8, well, because 6 is 8. That means he connected this part and this part, here and here. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Oh my God. Also at the casino, oh my God. You talking about Kundalini? They had that. You're talking about Fibonacci? They had that. They designed that. They put it there. Everything to do with spirituality, everything is there in the casino. Look online to casinos, real casinos, and see what they're showing off at the casinos right now. Their advertisement in the casinos are showing the future. We are in the future. Just before I leave, either we're because I see it, we're in the year 2012 is ending right now. This is 2012. George Washington is one of the most important people in the world. He's on Mount Rushmore. There's bridges named after him, and it's GW. George Washington. George W. Bush. Okay, George Washington, George W. Bush, and everybody has become younger. The elixir that they show at the pharmacies, the snake that they show at the pharmacies, have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen it? The star key at a pharmacy, it has a line here and an X. And the star key they show on the phone have an X and a line across. It shows you crisscross 10, 20, 30. And then the pharmacy goes 10, 20, 40, 50, and the line here is 60. Don't forget, 4 by 15, 4 corners by 15 equals the 60 seconds on a clock. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. There's just so much. It's all, for me, it's all true. I'm just hoping one day, and it's only me who can make this happen, that I can explain and answer any question you ask. But do not forget, please, that sometimes the question is asked today, but it might take up to 6 months or a year or 2 years, even before, because I have to make enough connections to balance off the value of the explanation of the thought. But at the same time, I still come across to you, telling you what I see, and I give you sometimes a balanced and an unbalanced explanation of the vision within the thought. So I have to give you both, because within time, as we work together, we will grind it out. And if you really want to talk about grinding, okay, if you want to talk about grinding, I just want to show you one thing. Twelve times 12 equals this. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4, 4. Another thing they show you, take a look at this. Jack, 10, ace, 21. Are they showing you this purposely? Because it could have been a queen, it could have been a king, but it's not. Do you know why it's not queen and king? Because the queen has 8 eyes. The king has 7. That's 15. That's this. That's the outside they're building you. By showing you, if they show you a jack and a queen, that turns into the letter R standing out for the king. This card shows you he's the spirit. It's all black in the background. Why? Because man is 3 colors. He's black, he's red, and he's yellow. Creates the black. Okay? What industry do you have to go into to see these colors? Another thing is this is the California Angels. This is the sign for the California Angels. The movie Angels in the Outfield. There's a mask. These are the moons. You see the sword? These are the moons. All black stripes. Man's life. But he's not living man's life. It's in black and it's not moving. Here's your one-eyed jack. You know, they say in bridge the club is the weakest link. It is the weakest link, because it has to work all together to have any link at all. I just want to show you one more card in here. You remember Matrix, the way he put it in the back of his head? The sword? Well, take a look. He put it in the back of his head. He hooked up the Matrix. Here's your snake. Here's your 2 sides. Here's your center. Look what it looks like. V over V, X over X, Illuminati. Illuminati says light me up. Here's the grinder, the jack. Take a look in the center. It's a grinder. It also looks like 2 and 5 and 5 and 2. Everybody knows what 5 and 2 spelled JG. Here's the lock. Turn it this way. See the way he locked up the two sides of the mind? The crossover in one, cross my heart, I swear to die. See the way he shows this letter over here? And he has a mask. The jack, okay, the jack of hearts and the king of diamonds both have masks. They both have one eyes, so it takes jack and king in order to make anything. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. I'm due to catch up. Thank you for watching this video.